Welcome to Systems Alliance. My name is Jexy, and in this video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the bankruptcy filing of Sinemia as they have finally ceased their U.S. operations, as well as the future viability of movie subscription plans. So as many of you know, movie subscription plans have been, on the fritz of late. First you had MoviePass, and they went from 3 million subscribers down to right now about 225,000 with the hits that they've been taking, not only financially, but then with their actual plans as well, losing customer confidence and eventually all their customers. And then you have AMC, which is doing really well, but they did raise their prices in the pricey movie states like California and New York. So some people took that as, did they not plan this out? But to me, I wasn't too worried about that. But then, of course, Sinemia. Sinemia started off as a very strong alternative to MoviePass, but recently it hasn't really seemed like that because not only have they had several class action lawsuits brought against them, but the reasons for it are just not good. I mean, the amount of fees, as I had in a previous video, 7 different ways Sinemia can charge you fees, whereas even MoviePass was pretty much just 1 or 2, and the second would have just been trying to pay for the fees that they're being charged. So nothing crazy there. Obviously AMC, there's just the fee of the membership, so that's it with them. So Sinemia having 7 different ways, putting fees on top of fees on top of fees, really rubbed people the wrong way. They would rather just pay more if you need more money. Just don't nickel and dime me with all these fees. But recently, and you could argue most egregiously, the thing that they've done that has really put people off from using Sinemia's service is the canceling of accounts. Now, Sinemia will have you believe that it's because of fraud and misuse and all of that, but really, the fraud seems to be on Sinemia's end. Just take a look at this video where someone has a perfectly active Sinemia account, and when they try and purchase a ticket, that's when it gets canceled. And that's what my comment section was saying. That's what Reddit was saying. That's what people on Twitter were saying, Facebook, everything. Just so many people saying, I've done nothing wrong. I've just been using this as it was intended. And because I'm basically getting a deal, that's why my accounts are being canceled.
Okay, so we are at the Pacific Theater in the Americana in Glendale, California. A lot of people online are claiming that Sinemia canceled their subscriptions and claimed fraud and misuse of their terms of service when that actually wasn't true. So we're going to run a test right now. So this is my account page. You can see my name in there. You can see that I'm a member in good standing. This is my membership page, and everything's okay. And we're going to go buy a ticket for Captain Marvel. So here we go. In theater. Okay, so 3:10, that's the date today. Yes, showtime 7:15, 2D, Pacific Glendale 18. This is correct.
Oh.
Ah.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh, all of a sudden. Huh. Look at that.
Sign back in. Yes,
And
there we
you
go.
Oh, the theory is right. You can't. Hold on, it's doing that thing. There you go.
Okay, so unauthorized use of Sinemia cards are list outside of its intended purposes. That is not true. You just saw us try to buy Captain Marvel
And you
for
saw that it was not saying that
$7.15 right
prior.
now. The use of multiple Sinemia accounts in the same device resulting in financial abuse. No, you saw my account. Reasonable suspicion of fraud and or abuse. I don't know what that would be. Sharing one Sinemia membership information to purchase tickets for any other people. My ID has been verified. It's come back from verified from Sinemia. You saw my face, so that's not true. Manipulation of location data resulting in deceptive ticket purchases. We're at the Americana. We are at the Pacific Theater 18 in Glendale, and so you can see it. That is not true. So something's up with Sinemia's account, and we're going to post it.
We just debunked it.
Yeah. Okay.
Sinemia said only 3% of accounts were the ones being canceled, but when I take a look at it, it seems to be a larger percentage than that. But I guess it doesn't even matter anymore since all your accounts are being canceled now because Sinemia is hanging it up. In Sinemia's Chapter 7 bankruptcy filing, they cite 3 lawsuits currently pending against them, 2 class action lawsuits, which I've covered in previous videos that are against them from users, and then there's the copyright infringement lawsuit against them from MoviePass. So that's 3 right there. That's obviously part of the reason why they're filing for bankruptcy, even though I think it's a very small part. Sinemia also cited a non-public investigation by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, that they also have going against them right now. Of course, the FTC says that they protect consumers against fraudulent, unfair, and deceptive practices in the marketplace, and I think that would be an accurate description of what Sinemia has been doing recently. Here's a letter that they sent out to their customers here in the United States. Dear customer, today with a heavy heart, we're announcing that Sinemia is closing its doors and ending operations in the U.S. effective immediately. At Sinemia, we set out our journey with the vision to help as many moviegoers as possible to enjoy an affordable and better experience at the movies by creating a movie ticket subscription service that adds value for both the moviegoers and the movie industry. Since 2014, we've been fine-tuning our model and serving moviegoers with a slate of affordable and flexible subscription plans. We are all witnessing that the future of moviegoing is evolving through movie ticket subscriptions. However, we didn't see a path to sustainability as an independent movie ticket subscription service in the face of competition from movie theaters as they build their own subscriptions. Thanks to the cost advantage and cross-sell opportunities, movie theaters will be prominent in the movie ticket subscription economy. While we are proud to have created a best-in-market service, our efforts to cover the cost of unexpected legal proceedings and raise the funds required to continue operations have not been sufficient. The competition in the U.S. market and the core economics of what it costs to deliver Sinemia's end-to-end experience ultimately leads us to the decision of discontinuing our U.S. operations. Despite the best efforts of our team, it has been difficult for us as a startup to continue providing our services to the moviegoers in the U.S. without resources and enough capital to meet increased operations and legal costs. We want to sincerely thank our customers that believed in us and helped us along the way for their love and support. We are so grateful to have had the opportunity to share our dream with you. Sinemia Inc. As they mentioned, Sinemia was founded in 2014 in Turkey, and as you can see with this, they're really out of cash. So they have to shut it down. Now they will be keeping Sinemia, not the movie subscription business, but just Sinemia in general open. As I had in another video, they're trying to branch out and basically trying to provide services that have nothing to do with the movie subscription business, just services to add on like a Fandango or something like that. So there might be a future there. And with the origination in Turkey, you might imagine that they have operations in other countries as well. And they do, like Canada, the UK, Australia, but they haven't returned comment from any news organization to say what's happening with those countries. Are they still going to continue? We don't know at this point. Obviously, at the end of the day, when you take a look at the model of Sinemia or MoviePass, it is very difficult, and I think this is the main reason why they filed bankruptcy, to compete with an AMC or a Cinemark movie plan. When you take a look at AMC, when they sell a discounted ticket, they're only selling against themselves. And if you go during a time because you have it, so you get the increased traffic because they have the movie plan, if you go on a Wednesday afternoon that would normally be completely empty, but then instead, because of the movie plan, they get a couple extra seats in there. And then, of course, as MoviePass showed, statistically, much higher percentage of people with movie plans are going to buy concessions, which of course are overpriced and they make a huge markup and profit on those. They're still making money because that theater, that show that they have on that Wednesday would be running no matter what. It does not cost them any more if someone goes and sits in there and gives them money compared to if no one's sitting in there. Or same if 5 people are there compared to 10 people. There is no cost difference to them. They're just happy to have more people in there, and that more than makes up the cost for people seeing, say, an Avengers Endgame on opening weekend. Obviously, a bunch of people getting a huge discount, but at the same time, there's butts in seats all throughout the week. It's obviously a money maker for them. They're closing in at around 1 million subscribers, as they had 700,000 back in February. And Cinemark had 560,000 subscribers back in February, so they could be closing in on 750,000 by now as well. So personally, I do find it interesting that they shut down operations right before Avengers Endgame, which, as we all know, is the biggest movie opening of all time by far. And I think what Sinemia saw is, because their plan is not a great plan sustainability-wise, they were going to get hammered over that weekend and through the future, the weeks after everything. And they were like, you know what? let's just stop it right there. We know we're going to lose money on this, so why keep going? Let's just cut our losses here and get out of here. Now keep in mind, it was the plan of MoviePass to get a cut of the profits from the concessions and everything like that, driving the extra people to the theaters, the theater chains. They just said, we'll just make our own and get all the money anyway. And that's pretty much why MoviePass's plan crashed and burned so fast. They never cut those deals that they promised their investors they would, that they promised themselves they would. They're obviously a complete mess internally. Similarly, that's why Sinemia failed. Sinemia didn't even try to go out and make those deals. They tried to kind of do things on their own merit, and even that just wasn't enough. Now, many people everywhere, comment sections, across the internet, all the websites, everything, obviously were having some money issues when it came to Sinemia and using their services. They weren't giving refunds that they were owed. They weren't letting them see movies that they wanted to see. Extra fees, all this other stuff, hidden fees. Things were pretty much a mess near the end for Sinemia. And that's why I always said all this stuff is a bunch of BS. Why? Because you could tell they were going towards bankruptcy. You could tell because why do these practices trying to claw back enough money any way you possibly can, canceling people's accounts right as they go to purchase a ticket? Why would you try to do that unless you were in serious trouble? And obviously they were. So while that does make sense, a lot of people are worried because, okay, they just filed bankruptcy. I paid for a subscription for maybe the whole year. How do I get that money back? So the first thing, if you haven't done already, is call your bank and file a chargeback immediately. Do that right now. You basically have to inform them that your paid services were never provided for. This can be done with really anything that you purchase a plan for that most likely lasts a year. So for instance, Sinemia, you get a 12-month subscription plan. You get a home warranty, 12 months. If they both go out of business or they both just stop doing what they're supposed to be doing, you can still get your money back, but it's going to have to be from your bank. Now, I wouldn't expect the entire refund back. There is a thread on Reddit. People are saying that Chase, obviously the largest bank in the world, they're given prorated refunds based upon when Sinemia went bankrupt. So that also makes sense, really, when you think about it, because you did have the service up to a certain point. Now, the one thing you do want to do is tell your bank to block further transactions just in case. So a lot of times when many of these companies start having money issues, filing bankruptcy, all of this stuff, what they try to do is they'll still charge your card. So they'll still try to take money from you. And sometimes what you end up having to do is you have to get a new credit card. I've been through this myself. Obviously, it seems like I'm speaking from experience. It's because I am. The companies in question, they'll try and get as much money as possible without providing any services. At this point, they're just all super shady, and you have to assume that you're dealing with someone who's just trying to take your money. It's basically like someone stealing your credit card and then just swiping and swiping it. You have to do what you got to do. So let me know your thoughts on this entire ordeal. What are your thoughts on Sinemia in terms of filing for bankruptcy? What are your thoughts on how their business practices kind of went downhill near the end, right before they did file for bankruptcy? What are your thoughts on the movie subscription plan in general? Some people are like, it's just not sustainable, but personally, I would argue that it is, but only if you're a movie theater chain. It becomes a little problematic, unfortunately, for consumers, because the one thing that a Sinemia or MoviePass did provide you is choice. I have an AMC pass. I don't really have choice. Now, for me, I don't mind that. I really like the AMC that is near me. It is also the closest theater to me. But if I'm ever out and I'm not near an AMC and people are like, hey, let's hit up a movie theater, well, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I think it works for, in general, the consumer who is near a theater, and it works for the theater because, as I mentioned, they are getting all the concession sales. They are getting that person who wouldn't come otherwise, and they're getting the person who is paying the movie subscription plan in the first place. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Twitter, and we'll catch you next time.